Right, we're back. Happy New Year to everyone, right? I hope you've had a nice break, a relaxing Christmas and New Year, and I hope you're ready to hit 2025 hard. In this video, I'm going to go over how to transcend your reality and make 2025 your best year ever. So, what does that mean, right? We all have goals, we all have things we want to do, but how do you actually put that into action, make it happen, and finally achieve the things that you want to achieve and that you know you deserve? We're going to get into it. So, what are the key elements to a successful year? And where do most people go wrong? Right? You need a definitive goal. A lot of people are very vague about what it is they're trying to do. Okay. When I say a definitive goal, it has to be like a SMART goal, it has to be specific, has to be measurable. You have to know what it is you need to do to get to that goal, right? Another thing is clarity in your strategy to ensure that you're moving forward in the most efficient way possible and avoiding all those shiny objects, right? Like in 2025, there's so many shiny objects out there, so many, business coaches and marketing gurus trying to convince you that what they sell is the best mechanism for you to get to your goal. And you have to have the awareness to really have focus and belief on one thing that you know works and just really double down on that and go all in on that and block out all the noise. Number 3, right? Something that I've been looking into a lot recently is self-image, right? More specifically, positive self-image, having a good self-image and good self-talk as well, not being trapped by negativity or, limiting beliefs, things like that. And then the 4th thing is actually taking action, right? But with enough volume of inputs from yourself to actually get towards your goal in an efficient way. A lot of people will say they're taking action, will say they're putting in the work every day. But if you were to actually look at what that looks like, it's not very productive. They're focusing on the wrong things. They're probably not even doing enough as well. And things are always much harder than you anticipate it to be, right? So I'm just going to go through all of these things in this video. So step 1 is that definitive goal, okay? And making sure that it actually aligns with your vision and values. If you're just looking at what people are doing on social media, copying other people because you think it's going to give you validation, that's not going to be enough of a driving force for you to actually transcend and actually make your goals a reality. You have to really dig deep and figure out what it is you value the most. What is your vision, right? Fuck what everyone else thinks. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, right? You need to look in and actually figure out what it is you want and then make that a specific thing, okay? Like, what is it you're even trying to do with your life? You need to really define it clearly, very, very clearly. And the business, right? The business is just a vehicle that is best suited to your expertise to actually get you there. But the life goals and your why, like why are you doing it? That's the real driving force that's really going to push you forward. So, and you need to think bigger as well. You'll never push past your boundaries if you always remain in that mental comfort zone, right? Your goals should make you feel uncomfortable. That's normal, and that's literally where growth happens. So again, don't be vague about it. Has to be a SMART goal, right? Is it specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and what's the time frame? You need to know all these things, write it down, and make it really specific and make it for this year. Obviously, you can have bigger goals as well, but I think people get carried away with thinking like $2,000, right? When I say bigger, I just mean, push yourself out of your comfort zone, be ambitious, but make it a goal that you can actually achieve in like a year's time, right? So it's not too far away, but then you can break that down into sort of quarters, and then into months, and then into weeks. And yeah, just make sure that you are digging deep, figuring out what you truly want. Don't just copy what other people are doing on social media. Really think about what matters to you. Like, what are your values and why are you doing it? And then how can you create a goal that really aligns with that? Okay. Now, after you know what your goal is, now you've got to gain clarity. So what does that even mean? It means breaking down the A to B, everything in between, right? The power of having a very clear goal is that now you can start to reverse engineer that and create stepping stones that will actually take you there. And to be honest, you don't even need to know how to do it, right? A lot of people, they don't have clarity because they don't have the knowledge, right? But you don't really need to have the knowledge. All you need to do is find someone who does have the knowledge so you can leverage their path of success, right? Put your ego to one side. You don't need, like, having an ego and thinking you can figure everything out on your own. That's not actually going to push you forward. You have to be the kind of person who wants to learn more, who is fucking hungry to learn, right? And you're basically just trying to position yourself in a way that would make it completely unreasonable not to achieve your goal. So let's say you find someone that's done the thing that you're trying to achieve and you leverage their success. Well, now it kind of comes back to you because all you have to do is execute. But you've positioned yourself in a way where you've removed all doubt, all guesswork, and you've got this clear path in front of you. And now all you need to do is take action. That's how you're trying to position yourself to make it fucking easy. Like with me personally, I've been there myself. Scaled 2 businesses to 6 figures. The first business, I just tried to figure out everything on my own by looking at competitors and trying to copy stuff. And before I was actually seeing good returns on that business, I was probably about 2 or 3 years in, to be honest. And it just took me a long time, right? That was in ecom. Nothing to do with coaching, just like a sort of like a side hustle during lockdown. Got really passionate about it. But if I'd just leveraged someone else's success who was very specific to where I wanted to go, I would have been able to do the same in the fraction of the time, right? And to be honest, that's probably one of the biggest lessons I learned in business, because there's so many people out there who are willing to sell what they know, save you years of mistakes, years of experience, so you can actually just implement the systems and the processes needed to get the outputs that you want. And far too many coaches know how to coach people, but they lack a sophisticated strategy, which that creates a lot of doubt and uncertainty. And when you don't have that clarity, then taking action becomes hard. And then you end up just not doing it. You end up not doing the things that you should be doing. And yeah, so that's not great. So ultimately they just give up. So you need to understand what the needle movers are that are going to propel you forward to your goal. And you just need to block everything else out. Avoid the shiny objects that are popping up every couple months. It changes all the time, right? The market for business goes through phases, but in reality, all these different mechanisms that are going through the cycles, they all work. You just have to double down on one and really just go hard on that one thing, right? Keep working at it until it works. If you keep hopping around different things, you're going to lose that momentum. You're going to lose that compounding interest, and you're never going to actually get there, right? All the momentum is just going to be, it's going to keep plummeting. You're going to keep starting from scratch. And yeah, that's a really common problem. Now, number 3 is shaping your mind for success, okay? You need to set the right expectations for yourself and also take 100% accountability of your situation. This is an absolute must. If you don't do that and you're always looking for excuses, something to blame, you're never going to be successful. That's the reality of it. So you need to put your ego to one side, actually realize that your whole reality is literally a result of your actions. All right. When you've got the vehicle in front of you, right, the right vehicle, there's only one thing stopping you, and that's literally yourself. No one's going to baby you and keep encouraging you every day. No one's going to perform the actions for you. No one's going to develop your skills for you. You have to go out there and do the repetitions until you become the person worthy of achieving whatever goal you've set for yourself. And no amount of planning or mental masturbation is going to give you what you need over actually going out there, taking messy action, making mistakes, just getting stuck in. And that just experience of just doing is what's really going to shape you. And it's just a complete bonus if you're actually doing that on something that you know works, right? Which is a proven strategy. Because from there, you just need to make little optimizations, keep taking action, and then you're going to get to your goal. It's literally almost impossible to fail. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel self-conscious about what you're doing. Anxiety, imposter syndrome, it's all very normal, right? But guess what? That's the time when you actually grows when you're uncomfortable, you're learning new things. So if you just embrace it, stick with it, the universe will reward you. Now, you have that all in check, right? You've got your goal. You know what it is you need to do to get from A to B, right? You've sort of primed your mind ready for the year ahead. You understand the sacrifice and the work that you've got to put in to make it happen. And you're willing to fucking go all at it. Now you just have to make sure that it's actually sustainable and you're actually maximizing your focus and energy. You don't need to work 12-hour days. You don't need to listen to what Alex Hormozi says. If I'm completely honest with you, I think a lot of the stuff that these people say sometimes about productivity is complete bullshit. No one is productive for 12 hours per day. It's just a complete ego trip and a flex to convince you of how hardworking they are. But in reality, it's not productive the whole day. What you actually need, right? You don't need the 12-hour days. What you actually need is awareness, right? So what parts of the day are you going to be most focused when you work the best? How many hours of deep work is actually sustainable for you? So you can actually keep doing it week after week over and over again. What you want to avoid is the peaks and troughs, right? I know that's fairly normal, but if you go too hard for too long and then you burn out and then you do nothing for X amount of days, weeks, you need to avoid that. You need to do something sustainable. And you also need to identify what the most important tasks are that are really going to move the needle in your business. Because then you can really structure your day that is going to give you the most return on investment of your time. And to be completely honest, if you can get in 4 deep focused hours, and by that I mean like using a timer, literally setting it for 60 minutes, noise canceling headphones, and just all in for 1 hour, right? If you can do 4 of those per day, it's not that difficult. It's a huge win, and you'll be so surprised at how much you can get done by just sitting down, dark room, headphones, right? Good playlist and a timer. But a lot of people don't do that. They'll be doing little bits here and there, and they'll be jumping from task to task with like 20 browsers open, right? If you just focus on one task, do the most important ones when your focus and energy is at its highest, and that's where you're going to get the biggest return on investment, okay? And you're actually going to get shit done that actually matters, not just trying to convince yourself that you're working really hard. Because it's not hard work really that's going to get you to a goal. Obviously, that's an element, but working smart is going to get you there in a more efficient way. You're not just trying to work as many hours as possible through the week. That's not the goal. You just need to know what it is you need to get done, right? You can even break that down into month and then by week. Now you know, okay, if I get all these things done this week, then I'm in a good place. And then anything after that is just completely voluntary. Like you just doing that off your own back, right? But you need to make sure that the things that are really going to move your business forward are getting done every single week, and you're optimizing those things. So yeah, And the last thing is, you can have all the information in the world, but it's just completely useless if you don't actually remain disciplined. So no one's coming to save you. It's your job to figure out what's sustainable for you so you can do it every single day and week. Keep the machine of the business running. And discipline in itself is extremely powerful because of the compound interest effect that happens when you actually put in effort. The inputs you perform now will produce much greater outputs the longer you remain consistent with them. However, the more importantly, in my opinion, is the self-trust that you build within yourself. So the ability to trust yourself, trust your conscience, and have the ability and the confidence to act instantly with bold moves towards an outcome. So if you're stuck with these negative thoughts about yourself, bad self-image, now this is something I'm personally working on as well, right? I'm reading this book right now, Cybernetics. It's really good. But, it talks about how important self-image is, and it makes complete sense, because if you don't have trust in yourself or you have negative beliefs about yourself, that's literally going to be an obstacle between you taking the action that needs to happen to get to your goal. So, it's something you really need to be careful about. Like if you have a lot of negative self-talk and stuff, you've got to cut that out. Like you really have to cut that out. It's really not good for you. Like how are you going to jump on opportunities when they occur if you're just always doubting your ability and you don't act quickly with speed, knowing that you're going to get to the outcome, right? You almost need to be like delusional about it. So you can actually just take action fast. And then that's, the universe is going to reward you for that. You're going to get the compound and interest effect of the efforts you put in. So that's kind of it for this video. Start small, stack wins, right? Get clear on your goal, get clear on what you need to do to get to that goal, stack the wins, and watch the person you become. See you in the next video, guys. Cheers.